Couple thoughts about the Jon Jones suspension, and this is the second time a tainted supplement defense has worked out in Jon Jones' favor. The first time he tested positive, which was before the canceled fight at UFC 200, he was able to link his positive test to a tainted and sexual enhancement pill. In this case, we still don't know what caused the positive test. All they can really basically say is that the pattern of positive tests versus failed tests indicates unintentional usage. But we don't know what caused the test. It could come from as many as 5 different steroids, according to the arbitrator's report. But that doesn't matter because, as the arbitrator points out, USADA doesn't require you to identify the source, whereas the WADA code does. So Jon Jones, unlike other cases where you come in with a tainted supplement, you say, this is the tainted supplement that caused my positive test, Jon Jones doesn't need to prove where this thing came from. The arbitrator was willing to basically evaluate his character, his testimony, and what he basically said he did to avoid this second anti-doping violation. And they can use that to determine whether he gets a suspension reduction. The second takeaway is the importance of the USADA rule on giving up information on other athletes, and also the lengths to which Jon Jones would go to get his own term reduced. Now initially he was facing up to 4 years of suspension. That's a really, really long time to be out. But because of this rule, he went to USADA and said, I'll give up information, and in exchange, USADA, by their own discretion, can take off as much or as little of the suspension as they want. So when he walked into that arbitration hearing, he was facing between 12 and 18 months of suspension. And that was because USADA decided to take off 30 months right off the top for his cooperation. The third takeaway is how effective Jones was as his own character witness in the proceedings against McLaren. When he went before the California State Athletic Commission in February, there were a lot of commissioners who weren't impressed by his testimony and his narrative that he basically just got caught in hot water, he didn't intentionally cheat, and he was turning his life around. But in this case, when he gets into the hearing room with McLaren calls him a credible witness, says that he's a well-meaning and well-intentioned man, and he even notes Jon Jones has suffered in all this and deserves to redeem himself on the stage. So in this case, Jones was his own best advocate. The fourth takeaway is the fallout. What happens now? What other athlete gets accused of an anti-doping violation because of information that Jones provided? A 30-month suspension reduction is pretty serious, so it seems likely that he has some pretty serious information on other athletes. And it should be noted that he has to keep cooperating with USADA to make his reduction permanent. It doesn't say how long, but it's fair to assume that in the near future, we're going to be seeing more people being accused of cheating as a result of this deal. Another quick takeaway is that Jones continues to have problems with street drugs. He told the arbitrator that he used cocaine again after UFC 214, and it appears to even get the suspension reduction and get the arbitration hearing, he had to agree to go to rehab. Now that contradicts a lot of the statements that he's made in public about turning his life around.